Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sam or Xstraws, and today I'm bringing you guys a ground domination gameplay on the map Grid. And today I'm bringing you guys, as you can see on your screen right now, another gameplay with the gold G11. But this time doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna guess that like 90% of G11 videos are with no attachment. But this time, as you can see, I'm bringing you guys a gameplay with the low power scope on the G11, which typically isn't, again, a very common choice of attachment for this weapon. But since you're really left with not too many options, I decided to go with it for a couple of reasons. The first of which is that somebody actually told me that if you use the low power scope on the G11, that you would actually get more gold on the weapon. And that's pretty cool to me, honestly. I mean, I think most people don't really give two shits whether there's more gold on the gun when you put the gold camo on it. But I've spoken about this before. I really think it sucks that a lot of the gold guns have more black on them than gold, the G11 being a good example of one. As you can see, there's a lot of surface area that's covered just by this black color rather than gold. But that's neither here nor there. The reason why I actually decided to just sort of do it now instead of a month ago, when I found out that you could put the variable scope on it and get more gold on it, is because it's sort of like a weird class setup video, and it's something you don't see used very often, as I've said twice already in this video, so I'll stop addressing that. Basically today I sort of want to talk about the M16 versus G11. If you want to call it a debate, I guess you can call it a debate. It's not really much of a debate, it's not that significant of an argument, but I just want to say that the M16 versus the G11 argument is something that sort of interests me, because it seems as though, like, if you were to ask 90% of people would tell you that the G11 is better, but in my opinion I think the M16 is better. So I'm gonna try my best to convince you guys that the M16 is better, and sort of you guys can decide for yourselves which you think is better, and you guys can tell me which you think is better at the end of this video, if you still think the G11 is better, or if you would side with me and say the M16 is better. So sort of a different kind of video than I would typically make. So let's first focus on the G11, the gun that I'm using right now. So the main upsides to this weapon are that it has a faster rate of fire than the M16. It can actually shoot those bursts off a little bit quicker than the M16 can, that it has a larger clip size, and that its hipfire is actually the same hipfire as an SMG. If you didn't already know this, the SMGs in Black Ops have a smaller hipfire spread than the assault rifles, as do the assault rifles to the sniper rifles. The sniper rifles obviously have a really big hipfire spread, which are indicated by those little reticles. But anyway, that's just one of the main benefits with it, and that's something that not everybody knows. So that's something pretty cool and noteworthy about the G11. And then the main downsides to it, in my opinion, are sort of the upsides to the M16, or the upside, I should say. Actually, no, there's two main upsides to the M16, and the two upsides to the M16 are that, one, you get to choose pretty much any attachment. You aren't limited like you are with the G11 to only the low power scope or the variable scope, which is, in my opinion, a big downside. Now, a lot of people might not think so, because they might think that just go no attachment, just use the regular standard what's it called, iron sights, and you'll be just fine. But in my opinion, being able to shoot someone at long range is aided so much by a red dot sight. It gives you such an advantage over that person, being able to see them and being able to spot them for repeat hits, which is another really big thing that I want to talk about. So the other upside to the M16 is that it's more accurate. It typically is going to connect more bullets with each burst than the G11 would, simply because it seems as though the bullets or the time in between the 3 bullets that get shot out of the gun in each burst is actually shorter. So you're actually more likely to connect all 3 bullets when using the M16 than you are when using the G11. So that's a pretty big upside, because if you think about it, if you're shooting at a moving target, because of the fact that it's a video game, it's not that realistic. A lot of times what will happen is you'll shoot, and instead of all 3 of your bullets going into your enemy, only like 1 or 2 will, and that can really suck when you're when you need to hit like 3 bursts onto a person, or you'll need to shoot 3 bursts just to kill a person. So that's definitely something to look into when kind of choosing between the 2 guns. The next thing is focus on what that gun is really supposed to be used for. In my opinion, if you're going to use an assault rifle in general, regardless of whether it's the Enfield, the Galil, the G11, the M16, you're going to want to be playing a defensive role. So that's great and all that the G11 has that decreased hipfire, and it's great and all that it has that extended mag sort of built into it, but typically that's not going to be a main selling point to me, because typically I'm going to be going for those long range encounters. And when you are going to be wanting to, have that advantage in close range, go with steady aim on the M16, and that'll help you out a ton. I even advocated that myself, but it's not a huge sell to me that the G11 has that hip fire and has that bigger magazine, because typically you don't need that. You can reload pretty quickly, and if you must, if you want that decreased hip fire, which I myself have even used before and advocated again, go with steady aim. It's gonna help you out just as much. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to like the M16 because I'm going to be playing a more defensive role, and I'm going to want to kill people quicker. I'm not going to want to have to deal with them possibly getting just getting hit markered and running away, because that's easy to do when someone's at a really long range, get behind cover and sort of counter what you just did to them. And also just because it's easier to hit those bursts, keep them on target because of the red dot sight. So that's sort of my argument. That's why I like the M16 a little bit more. Admittedly, I'll go back and forth sometimes. Admittedly, I'll go through phases where I'm absolutely loving the M16 or absolutely loving the G11 or absolutely loving the MP5, whatever the case may be. But over the course of time, over the course of the past 4 or 5 months that Black Ops has been out, the M16 has been my favorite gun. And I'm just curious to see who else out there agrees with me, because I'm pretty sure it's like 90% G11 people and 10% M16 people. But you guys can let me know. Anyway, this game's coming down to a close. We finished this up by 3-capping them for a very long period of time. We actually crushed these guys. You'll see right now the final ticket count was 200 tickets for my team and only 26 for the enemy team. So quite a crushing right here. I forget the final score of this game. It'll pop up on the screen in just a minute here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'll see you later. If you did enjoy it, please give the video a thumbs up rating, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.